War. War never changes.
I'm out of my drink. Fuck.
That's a great way to start.
Yeah, I know it is. It's episode 10 of Kaotikast. Yay! Yay! I don't know what the topic is.
Well, it's the most important war of all wars.
Yeah, I remember that fateful day back in the 70s where little Timmy got the ColecoVision instead of the Atari.
It's a war that's been fought on many different fronts for many years.
It's been all over the place. It's been physical. It's been digital. And honestly, it's really redundant at this point.
It's I feel like it's almost like I feel like it's kind of dying out at this point too, just because but anyways, this topic is the console wars.
Yay, go USA. Oh, wrong war shit.
No, this is much more important.
War never changes, man. It never does.
It's just like Solid Snake told me.
War has changed. No, it keeps changing every time they.
Actually, no, he did say war has changed. Never mind. I got my quote wrong.
Fucking Ron Perlman. Fallout. You call yourself a Fallout?
War has changed. Oh no, I know that's from Fallout 2.
Fallout 2. It's in Fallout 3.
I said I know that is from Fallout 2. I mean, as well.
Oh, I thought you meant 2 as in
God
2.
No.
God damn it.
Man. Okay, so this is going to be a big fucking topic just because there's so much to cover with the console wars. But there are some generations I can't really speak much on because they kind of happened way before I was born.
Yeah.
And I don't have too much of an opinion on some of these.
Hell, some of these are actually fucking old. Like, I had to do my fucking research on this. And I had to skip certain generations. I had to skip the first two.
Did we get like every console, like even the like obscure ones, like the Atari Jaguar and shit, or like the?
Oh, don't worry. I did my fucking thing for this. This will be great.
The Philips CDI.
Fuck no, I didn't even bring that one up. If people want to look up the Philips CDI, they can watch ABGN on that one. But no, I think we have to cover because controversy. Yeah, apparently, gaming controversy. I fucking hate gaming controversies. For the dumbest reasons.
There's a gaming controversy like every day.
Yeah, and especially on one of them. I actually started playing Spiritfarer, which is really fucking good. And apparently that's suffering from fucking controversy.
So what's the controversy over that again?
Apparently it had ableist dialogue.
Oh, right, because the character in the wheelchair.
Yeah, apparently there's a character that you get... Okay, the whole premise of Spiritfarer is that you are essentially the ferryman to send people's souls to the other side. It's a game about dying. That's actually the way that they described it. It's a game about dying. Then there's an artist who actually was in a wheelchair when he died, but when he's a spirit, he's actually walking around on his 2 feet.
But I mean, doesn't that make sense? Because you're like free of your corporeal, your physical body. You're not. You're a spirit. Why would you still be in the wheelchair? Why would you still be crippled?
Yeah, exactly. And then people, they're part of the dialogue. I actually did my little bit of research on that. I actually looked up the dialogue. All the character is basically saying is that when he was in the chair, he felt useless and unmotivated to do shit. He didn't want to do art. He just moped around. And as soon as he's out of the chair, he wants to do shit. The best way to describe the character is Locke. All of a sudden, this bald old man comes at me with a knife. Say, we hunt things today, Johnny.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, especially in this day and age, everybody's going to come after a game for not being PC enough or whatever the case may be.
Not being PC enough, being too violent, being too sexualized, just being something.
Yeah. It's it's like once you start trying to appease these people, then they're always going to try to ask for more. it's like, oh, can you do this? You know, you need to take this out, and then you need to take that out. It's never going to be enough.
Oh, hey.
You can never really apologize to them.
Oh, hey, I see that you're a fucking racist. I'm going to tell everybody you're a racist until you bring me in.
I'm going to get you... I'm also going to have you lose your job, and I'm also going to defame you on social media.
Pretty much. That's one thing
Welcome to cancel culture.
Oh, man. It's like... Can't people just enjoy a fucking game?
No, because some people are just joyless, depressed people and very sad people, and they hate that you enjoy things, and they don't want to take that away from you.
Or they question why you enjoy certain things, and then tell you that you had no childhood if you didn't enjoy the things that they enjoyed as a kid. Perish the thought.
I probably had more of a childhood than they did.
Pretty much. But yeah, gaming controversy aside, goddamn, looking up all the fucking consoles, I had to skip 2 generations just because it had like I said, AVGN already covered it. It had ColecoVision, the Odyssey, it had all these Atari, not clones, but competitors, and they all sucked.
Yeah, like I just, like I said, there are some things I'm honestly not going to have much to say about, because a lot of the knowledge I have about some of these consoles are mostly through like other people talking about them, because I've never really like played them myself.
Yeah, I know exactly how it feels.
Yeah.
Like, especially like the earlier consoles. Like, the only ones I remember is like the Super Nintendo and then the regular NES.
Yeah, same.
It's just so bad.
Yeah, the SNES.
But no, I think I have to take some part of the floor from the beginning, just so that people can get a fair concept of what happened to spark the whole gaming console wars. Because it started with Atari in the 70s, all the other bullshit like ColecoVision and Double Vision, all that. And they had the Commodore 64, which I don't really give a fuck about that one.
Yeah, the Commodore 64, as far as I know, was like a very early computer.
It's an early gaming computer.
Like, gaming computer, yeah. I think I remember, like, didn't AVGN do an episode on that? Like, it was like a Superman game or something. It was on the Commodore 64.
Yes, he did. He did the Superman games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you just, like, fly forward in that game and, like, avoid stuff, I think.
I think that was the NES.
Or, I don't know. It might have been the NES.
I forget, but yeah. The only console that people knew about was the Atari 2600 and all that, the best one. Then came 83, and video games came crashing down. Thanks, E.T.
Yep. The video game crash with the 80s.
Yep.
That was a very appropriate sound.
Yeah, it came crashing down. I have to look this up, because I didn't look this up. Guys,
we gotta find the lost ET cartridges that were buried in the desert, and we need to review them.
Yeah, video game crash. The crash was attributed to several factors, including market saturation of the number of game consoles available games. And apparently, the one thing that did it was fucking ET for the Atari 2600. Because nobody wanted it. It was so terrible. They got refunded. And this is bad.
I remember, like, I think it was 7th gen, people thought that the industry would crash again, I think because of the oversaturation of military shooters or something, or like zombie games. I forget what it was. I think it was during, like, when COD was really big. I don't know. I think people were like, I know it obviously didn't happen, but people were like speculating it would happen. I don't know if that was the reason, but like that was something someone brought up.
Well, they didn't really say much about it. It could be that. It could be due to the fact that there's so many.
I think it was mostly people saying they thought that the industry was like heading toward like it was going to crash again.
Yeah, it could. Then again, I think they're going to say the same thing about indie games too. How there's so many of them now.
I feel like people exaggerate with that. I don't think there's that as many as they say there is.
Pretty much. Yeah, even though the video game crash in '83 took a toll on gaming, Nintendo came around. A fucking card company came around and made a console.
A card company?
Yes, Nintendo used to be a card company.
What kind of cards did they make?
Hanafuda card. Hanafuda cards. Yeah, it was a card company. It was they made Hanafuda cards, which was a
They made Fuda cards?
Yep, Hanafuda. It's a Japanese game. And then they started coming in.
I like how you just didn't even catch what I said.
No, I caught it. And then they tried making video games with the whole Game & Watch consoles and all that.
The Game & Watch?
Yeah, Game & Watch. Those little Tiger Electronics things. I think I have a picture of it right here. Hang on.
Oh, I know. I think I know what you're talking
Yeah, one of those. Oh, just scroll down. Just scroll down. You'll see it.
about. Yeah. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I remember the Tiger Electronics. Didn't Tiger Electronics also try to do some kind of console or something, or am I crazy? Because I feel like I remember them trying to get their hands in the gaming market. Or maybe not. I don't know. Did they?
I don't think. Oh wait, they did.
They did.
Yeah.
Was this in the 90s, or was it? Because I feel like I remember this from like it might have been when I was growing up, or I maybe like long before that. I'm not sure, but
yeah,
I remember hearing about it.
Yeah, like I think they tried doing that for some fucked up reason to try to like compete with it.
Well, pretty much every company, like at least back in the day, especially, was trying to make like a gaming console.
Yeah, like any company would do that. And then what was it? Tiger Electronics like took games from like the NES and all that and tried making it into a game. It's just terrible.
I mean, it's something we don't really see happen anymore too, because like back in the day, it's like all these different companies were like coming out with gaming like a gaming console, and nowadays it's just like, well, we only really got like the big three companies, like Xbox or Microsoft, PlayStation, or Sony, with PlayStation and Nintendo.
Yep. But remember, these didn't exist back in the fucking 80s, except for Nintendo, the NES.
Yeah.
And Atari.
Yeah. So, the first console, or the first. So when were the first like big, like I guess I guess you could say the first big console wars were probably like dating back to when they were first coming out, right? Like with the other like competitors coming out with their own consoles.
Yeah, this was like back in the 80s and like 70s and 80s. That's when they started doing that. Like different companies started making their own, but they all died out, and Atari still continued. Nintendo took over in the 80s, and it became a dominating force until Sega came around and said, I can make consoles too.
Yeah, because I do remember it started to get really kind of, the console wars started to become more like more, I guess you could say, more pronounced with the Sega versus Nintendo.
Exactly. You remember the ads Sega does when Nintendo.
Yeah, because Sega had Sonic Adventure or whatever, and Nintendo had Mario.
Yeah, and what did Atari have? E.T. for Atari 2600.
Yeah, the best game.
Yeah, it's like, I just think it's fucking hilarious how like all these games that came out in the 80s became such classic icons in the early 90s. They just became like big icons now.
Yeah.
And they were still going. They still go on to this very fucking day.
Yeah, I mean to a lesser extent, but yeah, they're still around.
Yeah,
like Atari and I mean Sega is now mostly just the obviously they're not making consoles anymore.
No, I don't even know they still make games anymore.
I mean, they're publishing a lot of games, but I mean, I know there was apparently a rumor that apparently Sega was supposedly going to come back with a new console, but I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah, it's not going to happen. Yeah, apparently.
I mean, what would they even do for a new console? Like,
Make it look
I
like
just don't, I don't, what would a new Sega console look like?
It will look like a Blu-ray player. That's all it'll look like.
Well, that's pretty much what well, I mean, both PlayStation, Sony and Microsoft have Blu-ray players that are gaming consoles, basically. Except for Nintendo.
Yeah, what was it? Like they all did cartridges. Like the early. I just thought it was also funny how back then they had the early consoles had like cartridges, and nobody fucking cared
about the cartridges.
Yeah, except for the kids that bumped their fucking hands into it and ruined their games, and they're like, "Mommy, I need a new game."
I used to find cartridges so interesting. Like, just, I mean, it was a pretty cool way to, just pop a cartridge in and you play a game.
Yeah, and guess what?
Now it's all just discs.
Yeah, and guess what? No loading times and no updates.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, none of the annoyances of modern gaming.
Exactly. Hang on.
I mean, there were still load times, but not like... Yeah, I mean, not like it is now. I mean, to be fair, though, you can always put the game on an SSD or something and have it load quicker.
True, but people are dumb still. Oh, hey.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think normies are going to try to do that, but if you're not a normie, then you probably will.
Oh, no. What was it? Honestly, I have to ask. Was Atari versus Nintendo much of a console war? Because I'm going with
I don't know. Like, I feel like it was probably pretty one-sided, considering I feel like Nintendo probably had like a bigger library of games. That could be wrong, but I don't think Atari really had as many in comparison.
Well, they did, but Nintendo took over and just said, "Hey."
Nintendo was just the more popular console.
Yeah, it was just like, "Fuck you." We got Mario, we got Zelda, we got Kirby, we got Castlevania. We have all these games.
And you also have to remember, like, in the early days, like before the 90s and the early 2000s, like, internet wasn't really a thing, so people, like, the whole console wars stuff wasn't really was not really like a big thing, like, or at least it didn't seem that way because we didn't have the internet. Well, it probably wasn't either because we didn't have the internet, so we didn't have like all these people on message boards or YouTube or whatever talking about their preferred console
or talking
or Twitter
or reviews of certain games and consoles.
Yeah, like the only reviews you'd probably see is in like a magazine or something like that.
Yeah, it was like in a magazine.
Nintendo Power.
That magazine, you had to wait a fucking month just to see.
It probably had to be like a subscriber for it. You had to get it in the mail.
Yeah, Nintendo Power was a good example of that one.
Yeah.
And what was it? I didn't know if Sega had one or not. Probably not.
If Sega had a console?
No. I know.
Or if Sega had a magazine.
They had like a subscription magazine. I know for a fact that they fucking had videos with that fucking jazz guy like singing about it.
The jazz guy?
Lou Rawls, I think his name was.
Well, I do know, like, I'm not sure if Sega did, but I know PlayStation had a magazine. It was the PlayStation Underground.
Yeah, they did. I forget what else they had it to.
I actually used to get those.
Oh, yeah, I think they had EGM, too. I don't know when they started.
EGM?
Yeah, Electric Gaming Monthly.
Yes, that sounds familiar. I just don't... I wasn't sure if it was like specific to a console or like a.
Well, let's talk about like when people try to figure out everything. Now I'm curious.
Well, now we're just talking about like old magazine publications.
Well, true, we are, but at the same time, it's like back in the day when people didn't know if anything was good or not.
Hey, Levy, you want a Game Informer? You want to subscribe to Game Informer?
Fuck off, GameStop. Fuck off. I want to subscribe to Nintendo Power. Goddammit.
You get the Power Glove with it.
God damn. That's another thing that Nintendo did too. That they brought up so many unnecessary accessories for it.
Oh yeah, the gun and the it was like the Duck Hunt
The Zapper.
gun and the Zapper, and then the Duck Hunt like shotgun or rifle. You got.
I don't think there was a rifle for that. I think that was a.
It was like a shotgun, wasn't it? Like a shotgun? You got like some kind of shotgun thing where you played Duck Hunt on it.
No, it was the Zapper.
I thought it was. I could have sworn there was like some kind of a. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I
You
feel like there
want me
probably
to
was.
do
Like,
research for you?
I don't know. Like I feel like there probably was.
Gun. No, it
Duck
was
Hunt
the
gun.
Zapper.
Okay.
God,
Maybe it's just because I was like thinking of the stuff they have in arcades. I don't know.
God damn it. God damn. No. Here's what I mean. This is apparently
I know what the Zapper looks like.
Yeah.
It's just the pistol.
Yeah, it totally
it's
looks
plastic.
like it popped up.
Yeah.
That?
Maybe.
No. Someone made a fucking Glock and they made it into the Nintendo Zapper. It's like, what the fuck?
Oh.
It's like, god damn. Yeah, because I know they did have like a bazooka thing, but that was like for the Super Nintendo.
Maybe that's what I was thinking. I don't know. It probably was a Super Nintendo I was thinking of because that's the Nintendo console I remember the most from my childhood.
Yeah. Well, now let's move on to actually the one that people really wanted the most, like back in the early console wars. The one that really revolutionized it. What I like to call upping the bits and creating gaming on the go.
Oh.
Which was
Handheld?
Yeah, it's like when Sega joined the console wars with the Genesis and the Game Gear.
The Game Gear.
Albeit the Game Boy came out before the Game Gear and the Genesis came out before the Super Nintendo.
What games were on the Game Gear? Because I
forget.
I don't remember.
I know one of them was like a few Sonic games. Goddamn,
Sonic Adventure Portable.
No. Okay, here there are Game Gear games. I said Sonic, so let's just jump into S. Oh hey, it had Shinobi, Simpsons games, Sonic Labyrinth, Spinball, Triple Trouble, Spider-Man versus the Kingpin.
Was this around the same time as Virtual Boy?
Oh yeah,
Or was
actually, because it came out in the '90s. Virtual Boy, sadly,
Virtual Boy was a disaster, wasn't it? Like it was
Yeah.
people hated that, or was that
that's-
something else?
Here's the funny thing about that, though: the Virtual Boy is not Gen 4.
Oh.
It was actually Gen 3 or Gen 5. I said,
I'm so confused about kind of these generations. Like I know we're on like Gen.
yeah, we're on Gen 4, the actual Gen 4. I just call it the second generation because people skip the early ones.
Okay. Yeah, but the Virtual Boy, that was the one where you had like everything was red, right? Like you looked into it and it was all like,
Yep.
Yeah, that was weird.
It was
They had an interesting idea. I'll give them that. But
interesting idea, but not enough.
I feel like in some ways kind of ahead of its time, but just not there yet in terms of technology.
Yeah, technology was like very
Like the idea was a little bit similar to kind of some of the stuff we have now with some. I don't know if I'd say like VR, but
I would say so because the VR headsets or the Virtual Boy headset actually kind of looks like the fucking.
Yeah, it looks like early VR, like an early VR headset thing.
Yeah, but it turns out in the fucking end that didn't happen. It was a flop. It lasted a year, and that was all that it needed.
Yeah,
But then,
much like some of these other consoles, like CDI and the Jaguar.
honestly, I would say this is actually the first fucking fuck up that Nintendo has ever made back in the day. Was the Virtual Boy?
Yeah.
Yeah, what was it? I'm trying to think. Remember the Lynx?
The what?
The Lynx, the Atari Lynx.
Oh, I think now that you mentioned it, I think I've heard of the Atari Lynx, but I don't remember what the hell it is.
It was a fucking not Sega, Atari's attempt to make like the Game Boy or Game Gear.
Oh, so like an Atari handheld.
Pretty much. and it was not that good.
What kind of games did it have on that? ET Portable?
I have no idea, actually.
Yeah, I mean, at least Atari tried to get into the portable market.
Yeah,
but props for trying.
It didn't really all the handheld ones had problems. Like the only one that had a good one was the Game Boy and all that, or Game Boy. Even though it had like a really bad tint, that's all I can say of that one.
What? Oh yeah, didn't it have like a greenish.
Yeah.
I think I played. No, I didn't play the original. I played the Game Boy Color.
Yeah, Game Boy Color was the one that they added color to it.
Yeah.
All right.
So would you say like the Game Boy was like the first successful portable handheld console?
The handheld, yeah, it's the only good one back in the day.
Yeah.
But what was it?
Did that have the original Metal Gear on that, or was that something else?
The original Metal Gear.
Yeah. What was what console had that game? Because I feel like
that wasn't a console. That was a computer, I think.
The MSX.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, because that's what I thought. I thought it might have been a computer.
Yeah, that was like a computer game. I'm actually gonna look that up now. Shit.
Yeah, because I know like some of the original Metal Gears were, I think they were on the Game Boy.
Yeah.
Or maybe it was the Game Boy Color. I'm not sure.
I think. Hang on. Now I'm really. I think it was like Metal Gear Solid.
No, Metal Gear Solid was not on the. Metal Gear Solid was just on the PlayStation and.
Are you sure about
I think
that?
it's just PlayStation. I mean, I could be wrong.
Yeah,
you
are wrong. Look at this.
Oh shit! What the fuck?
It was called Metal Gear Ghost Babel in Japan, but when we got in the States, it was called Metal Gear Solid.
I'm guessing it doesn't really look so much like the Metal Gear Solid on the PlayStation.
Nope, but I will tell you that this game got critical acclaim from IGN, a perfect 10.
Well, shit.
I kind of want to play this game now just to see if it's any good or not.
I mean, I guess for a Game Boy Color game, it's probably good.
Yeah, surprising.
I do remember I did play a Metal Gear game on Game Boy Color, but I forget which one it was.
It was probably that one.
It might have been. I'm not sure. I have my Game Boy Color games buried somewhere. I don't even know where the hell they are.
I don't even know where mine are.
I had them in a Ziploc bag, and I don't remember what happened to them. And then I had the Game Boy Advance, which had I had a Star Wars game on there, and some other ones.
I forgot there were
a lot of other ones I can't remember. Game Boy Advance was a pretty good handheld too.
Yeah, but I was gonna say
Game Boy Advance obviously was a lot more technically. It was more powerful, obviously, than the Color, and could do a lot more.
Yeah, it was a lot better than the original Game Boy and Game Boy Color. But I was gonna say, I
think I had some Star Wars Attack of the Clones game on there or something. You played as Anakin Skywalker and you were going around killing droids.
I thought that was episode 3.
I think it was 2 because I'm pretty sure it was 2. Maybe it was 3. I think it was 2 because I remember Anakin looked like he did in episode 2 on the cover.
Okay, because I never really played the Star Wars games for Game Boy Advance. I thought they were dumb.
Yeah, I mean, I don't remember it being all. I mean, I remember having fun with it, but I was a kid, so I mean, maybe it sucks. I mean, I could be wrong.
This game sucks now. It's like, but you're a kid. Shut up.
I mean, there are plenty of games I played as a kid where I enjoyed them, but if I went back and played them now, I'd probably be like, oh, this game is stupid.
Oh yeah, like Bubsy. That's actually a great one.
Yeah.
Oh god. I'm just going back to the console, back in the Gen 4 was honestly, which was better? Because I'm not going to put Atari in there because they didn't have really much of a console.
In Gen 4?
Yeah, the Genesis, Super Nintendo, Game Gear, and Game Boy.
Oh. I'm just going to say by default the SNES, just because that's the only one I've really played. I haven't played this. Like, I mean, I'd like to play the Sega Genesis because there's probably some games on there I'd like to play, but just because I mostly just played Super Nintendo and have experience with it, I just have to say Super Nintendo.
Yeah. I just played a lot of games on the Super Nintendo. I actually have more fond memories with that and the Game Boy, not Sega.
Yeah. I had a few different games on there, like well, actually, speaking of Star Wars, I had the original Star Wars game. It was like that Star Wars game for the SNES.
Wait, I think I might know exactly what.
It's Super Star Wars. Super Star Wars. That's what it was called. It's really fucking. It's a hard game.
Oh yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah. And then there was like that. I think I had like. Maybe it was like Batman Forever or like Batman Returns. I forget. It might have been Batman Returns.
The one that you're thinking of.
Yeah, Batman Returns.
So, I'm actually looking through my game box. I actually have all my good.
There was also a cliffhanger game on the SNES based on the Sylvester Stallone movie.
Oh Jesus Christ! Now what the fuck? Why do I have the PlayStation Vita TV? My box of SNES games.
The PlayStation Vita TV, another thing that didn't really take off.
Nope, it didn't take off. Man, I'm looking through my old games.
Actually, much like the PlayStation Vita itself, unfortunately.
Oh, hey, look, I have a Sega Genesis game without the actual case. That's the one thing I like about Genesis games, is that it actually comes in a hard case.
Yeah, I've seen the cases they come in, too. They're pretty, like... They kind of remind me of, like, those VHS cases.
Yep, exactly. That's why I like them so much.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Big, bulky, and not very efficient in terms of space.
Do you want me to go over what all the games I have for the Super Nintendo? Because
you really don't have to, because I'm pretty sure you have a lot.
No, not really. I only have like 20. Super Mario Kart.
Well, I don't even remember all the.
Why the hell do I have a Pokemon card in here? That's another thing I did. Jesus Christ. I have like all these games I don't even remember. Oh, here we go. Super Star Wars.
I'm guessing you played that.
Yeah, I did.
So you know my pain.
I hated it when I was younger. And then later on, they ported that over to the fucking PS4 and the later consoles.
Yeah, that's right, they did.
Only the first one, though. They didn't do it for the second one.
Yeah, that game was ridiculously hard.
Yeah, it was. It was the Dark Souls of Star Wars games.
I think I managed to get to the level where I think you play as Han, and then I died. That was like the farthest I got.
Yeah, I don't even remember going past the first stage.
The one where we fight the Jawas?
I think I got past that one. I just didn't get past after that.
I think it might be the when you're in the speeder. Yeah, you're in like one of the, what was it? The fucking Luke speeder.
What, the land speeder?
The land speeder, yeah.
Goddamn. So we actually covered like Gen 4 easily.
Yeah.
And Gen 4 is like the easiest one to cover. And yeah.
Well, it was the one after that.
And Gen 5, which had like the Nintendo 64, and it had the Atari Jaguar.
Oh boy. And I'm guessing the PS1?
Yeah. PS1, the Saturn.
Okay, yeah.
I don't know that the
Genesis
had all the CD and 32X, but we don't count those.
Yeah. The only ones I played were the N64 and the PS1.
Yeah, I only played N64 and Game Boy Color because fuck it.
Yeah, well, I guess I would say to a lesser extent the Game Boy Color, because I did play the Game Boy Color, but the only games I remember playing on there were like the Pokemon games, and I had that Metal Gear game on there. I don't remember the other games I played on there. But yeah, like I could tell you a lot about, like, I played a lot of the different PS1 games because I mainly like grew up playing the PlayStation 1. I played the N64, but I didn't get the N64 until much later. And of course, that's when I started playing games like I played GoldenEye and I played Mario 64, and some of the other. What was the other games I played on there? I played a few different games on the N64, but not as many games as I played on the PS1. There, I have a lot more games I could talk about for PS1. Crash Bandicoot, Spyro the Dragon, Croc. I think I played some of the Frogger games.
Spider-Man.
Oh, you want to talk about obscure games too? Like I played this. This game is awesome. I fucking love this. There's this game on there called Omega Boost.
What?
And it's called Omega Boost. You play as like a dude in a mech, and you're in space, and you basically are just fighting aliens. And it was fucking. It was a hard game at times, but it was fun. Like, it was a really fun, and it had live action like FMV cutscenes.
It was only on PlayStation. It looks good.
It was fun, dude. Like, it was a really fun game. It was one of those games I'm pretty sure if I went back to play it, I'd probably actually enjoy it. It's a fun game.
When can we get a remaster of that?
Probably never, because it's a really niche game. I don't even know how I got it. And shit, like, I don't even remember where I got it from.
Same.
But, like, I just remember I had the game, and, like, I love the intro, because the intro is just so fucking, like, you have this, like, hard rock song playing as the dude just fucking goes into space in the fucking mech. And it's just, it was just awesome. I love it.
I have to look this up now.
Look up Omega Boost intro.
Oh, God, I'm just... okay.
And then there's a part where there's another dude in, like, a mech, and you end up like fighting him, and I don't even remember why. I guess he's like an evil guy, and he's in a mech suit. But yeah, it's like, it was a weird game. It was a weird game, but it was fun. And it was probably like the first game I think I played that had like FMV, or like FMV cutscenes. I think I played any other game that as a kid that had like FMV cutscenes. Oh no, wait, no, I did. Yeah, I did. Fuck, I'm stupid. Did you ever play the Star Wars? What was it? The Star Wars. It was like a Star Wars game. It was Rebel Assault. Star Wars Rebel Assault that had like FMV cutscenes.
No,
and it was like 2 discs. They were really good, like the Rebel Assault games.
Yeah.
But it was like. It was a lot of these different, like it was different, these different sections you play in the game. Like, part of it would be like an FPS, and then you'd be in like a spaceship, and it would turn into like a kind of like a spaceship game. Those were good games, though.
No, I didn't play that game. I played the Atari Jaguar.
Oh, you poor child.
No, actually, no. Fun fact: I was 2 when this fucking console came out.
Did you look up the intro?
I looked up the intro, and holy fuck.
I told you.
Let's remake Omega Boost. Hashtag bring back Omega.
It needs to be remade. I like it. Just look at the gameplay. It's really fun.
Like if they did it to Metal Wolf Chaos, they definitely.
It's kind of reminiscent of maybe like Zone of the Enders. I could be wrong, but it kind of feels like that.
Yeah, kind of. I don't know, and I don't need to look at gameplay for it now. Shit.
It's... Yeah, I don't remember too much. I just remember you're in mech and you shoot things.
Looks like it.
Anyways,
actually,
back to the console wars. What were you gonna say?
Actually, no. It just looks like Space Harrier.
Space Harrier?
Yeah.
Oh, is it? Is that like a bullet hell game?
No, it's actually their. Looks like their way of making Star Fox.
Yeah, it could be that too.
I mean,
could be
it's not bad. Looks good.
Yeah.
I just wish they remake this game.
You're probably gonna crucify me, but the only like Star Fox game I think I've actually played is Star Fox Adventure.
Yeah, you poor child. You didn't enjoy Star Fox 64. You poor child. Poor
yeah, I didn't know what it was when I played it. I was like, "What's Star Fox?" And I played it. I was like, "Oh, this is cool."
Oh, this is Star Fox, and then you see other people playing the actual Star Fox.
And apparently, like, it was originally supposed to be a completely different game called like Dinosaur Planet or something.
Hold on, now I'm looking this up now.
Yeah, it apparently it turned into a Star Fox game later. It was supposed to be like something else.
what's his name, JonTron made a video about that.
I feel like I enjoyed the game, but like again, like I said, it's been years since I played it, so it'll probably like if I play it again, I'll be like, oh, this game sucks.
Yeah, it was supposed to be Dinosaur Planet.
Yeah.
And then Shigeru Miyamoto was like, hey, put Star Fox in it. It's good.
I mean, at least you could say like maybe it's a different take on Star Fox. It's a different Star Fox game. It's not just you fighting space battles.
No, space battles.
You're on the dinosaur planet.
No, we're not going to fucking Dinosaur Planet. When people go eat that, it's like, what the fuck are you saying?
Oh, you mean like the made up language they have in that?
Yeah, and I hated that fucking language. That language sucked. Jesus. We went from talking about all this from Gen 5.
I feel like we should save this for like a niche games podcast.
We should. We fucking should. And what was it? I said the entire Jaguar, great console. No one liked it.
Yeah. I mean, did it have any good games on it?
Fuck no. It's like the first... Sadly...
I heard the games on there run like ass too. Like it just apparently is just or is it like it doesn't run well, or the console's really loud? I forget what they said. Like it's not a good console or something.
It's just not good at all.
Yeah, like apparently the games will freeze up or something, and there's a lot of issues with the games.
Exactly, that was like a shitload of problems with it. And I love how a lot of people say that. Oh, you hadn't played this? It's like I played worse. I played a lot worse.
I played the Jaguar.
I played E.T. for Atari 2600.
Good lord!
It
had to go to the desert to recover the cartridges.
No, apparently I found it on the side of the road. Someone threw out their fucking their Atari 2600, and I picked it up and bought and just looked through the games, and oh, good lord!
Wait, are you actually serious?
Yes, I'm serious.
I thought you were joking.
It still works.
Oh man,
and that's what's funny about it.
I had a fat PS2 that still worked for a while, and then I think it might have started to give out on me.
Yeah, I know exactly how that feels. I was surprised that the fucking console messed up, or didn't mess up.
Yeah, same. That's pretty crazy.
But like I said, I just think it's funny overall that we're just talking like we're just all over the place today with this.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really have any like. It's not until we get to like the 6th or the 7th gen where I'm gonna start having some sort of investment in the whole console wars thing. Yeah,
but I was gonna say, what else did that came out in Gen 5? Apparently, what was it? Sega Saturn.
I have no opinion on that.
Yeah, the Sega Saturn was just eh.
What did it even have on it? Like, I'm guessing obviously like Sonic games and some of the other Sega stuff, Sega licensed stuff.
I'm gonna look that up too.
I don't even know what they had on the Sega Saturn. It might have been like some Sonic spin-off games.
Maybe.
Like a Sonic Pinball.
Panzer Dragoon.
Panzer Dragoon?
Panzer Dragoon, yeah.
Huh.
I
know Panzer Dragoon is a fairly well-known game.
It is. They also had Nights into Dream was another one.
Oh man, oh shit, yeah, that was a pretty popular game. Man, I'm stupid. never mind.
Guardian.
I was just thinking they weren't going to have much of anything on there, but
they had.
Was that a more like popular console back in the 5th gen, or was that like
it was heavily not mixed, but it was like one of those that people didn't really know about it.
But I'm guessing it also had like some games that like grew to become a lot more popular.
Yeah, or
like the Knights game.
That's what happened.
Yeah, like the Knights game and the Panzer Dragoon.
Yep.
Obviously, like a Shenmue referenced a lot of the stuff. Actually, what about the Dreamcast? When the Dreamcast is that next gen or was that?
Dreamcast is Gen 6.
Okay.
But no, what was it? The Sega Saturn had Mega Man X3. That had that, Metal Slug, Mortal Kombat games, Night of the Dreams, Parodius, or Paradis. Oh, yep.
Parodius.
At least not.
Yeah, Metal Slug is a pretty big franchise, but I think a lot of the games are on like Nintendo platforms. Some of them are on PC.
It also had Radiant Silvergun.
Don't think I've heard of that one.
It is a shmup, and it's been known to be one of the greatest shoot 'em ups ever made.
Wow.
But it was only released in Japan, though. But the 360 got a port of that in 2011.
Yeah, so I think I don't know. Do we have any other opinions on the whole? Or I guess did we say like what our preferred console was for the for this gen?
I thought you already said the Atari Jaguar.
You can fuck off.
There's not much for handhelds because Nintendo was the one that made most of the handhelds for that one.
Yeah. I guess I'll just say mine obviously is the PlayStation. I grew up with PlayStation.
I disagree.
N64 is close second.
Yeah, I would say N64 because I actually grew up playing the N64 more than the other consoles.
Yeah, I'm the weird guy because I just had the PlayStation when I grew up, and I only later got the Nintendo consoles.
No, I only got I didn't get it brand new. I think my dad found it at a pawn shop, and he's like, "Here you go, son."
That's actually where I got the. I think both the N64 and the Super Nintendo is like a flea market.
Yeah, flea markets are great to find games.
I remember really enjoying going to the flea market because they used to have like a section that had. They didn't only have games, but they had like. It was pretty cool because they had movies. They had like VHS movies. They had comics. And they also had like retro games. Oh
yeah, I remember one. I think I didn't say that I found Final Fantasy VII for like $4.
Yeah, I think you mentioned that.
Yeah, Final Fantasy VII for $4. I feel so bad for the old lady that sold it to me, but at the same time, it was her loss, not mine.
Was it the Black Label one?
I do believe so. Yeah, it was.
Oh shit. Oh shit! Yeah, she really didn't know what she had.
I gotta double check my fucking find.
If you got the Black Label one, you got like you keep that shit.
Let's see.
Because I think the Black Label wasn't the Black Label one like really sought after because they only came out with like the greatest hits version.
Yeah, that was the reason.
And like the Black Label one was like out of print or something.
I think that's what it was.
So, like, everybody that was selling the game was, like, jacking up the price for the Black Label edition.
Huh, yeah. Yep, this is the Black Label.
Ooh, boy.
Yeah, ooh, boy.
You could sell that thing for a lot of fucking money.
Yeah, I don't...
That is, at least if it still goes for a lot of money.
Probably not.
I don't know, actually, because I just remember, like, years ago I was hearing that went for a fuck ton of money.
Hey, look, Final Fantasy IX, the better Final Fantasy.
I was about to segue into like things I don't like about retro collecting, but I think we'll save that for another podcast.
Yeah. Which
one of them being scalpers.
Scalpers
really fucking don't like. Yeah.
I think I also found a Black Label Symphony of the Night for $2 at another swap meet.
I think that's also kind of sought after.
Good, because I own it.
Yeah.
Now, we already said for Gen 4, not Gen 4, Gen fucking 5. Let's talk about Gen 6.
And that being the PS2 and the original Xbox, GameCube.
Yep, when Microsoft finally joined the console war and made their own console, which was the Xbox.
I have a bit more to say about this.
Yeah, this is the one that we probably will say a lot of, and also the Game Boy.
Yeah. Oh yeah. actually can't really say much of anything about the Xbox because I never owned an original Xbox.
My brother did.
I only like played some of the original Xbox games when I got a 360.
Yeah, for me, I just played on my brother's Xbox whenever he wasn't using it.
Yeah, like there were some pretty good games on the original Xbox.
Halo.
Yeah, obviously like Halo.
Halo, Fable, Republic Commando.
Doom 3 was an exclusive, I think, to the original Xbox.
It was, and it sucked.
Yeah, the original Doom 3 is really mixed in my opinion. Like I really do not like what they did, like with the flashlight. You have to switch between your flashlight and like your weapons. I really think the Doom 3 BFG kind of improved upon that, and they just had it so you have the flashlight attached to your weapon.
Yeah, that's the only better part of it, but I just didn't like Doom.
I mean, oh yeah, because it's like a slower pace.
Yeah, it's not like the other Doom games.
And to some extent I like that about it, just because it's like they tried to do something different. They tried to go for more slow building, like horror, as opposed to like fast paced, like shoot all the demons. But I don't know. Like I didn't mind it. I thought it was okay. It could have been better. It's not really my favorite Doom game. I would probably say like the original games are more like what I think of when I think of Doom. And obviously the reboot kind of nailed that with the fast-paced, nature of the game and just being totally like just balls to the wall action.
Yeah, it actually became what it was supposed to.
Yeah.
Honestly, what was the other thing I didn't really care about Doom 3? Too dark.
Well, yeah, the whole game's way too dark. Also, like,
I love how
I would say, like, at least with the BFG edition, too easy. It felt too easy.
I like this version, but it's too easy.
I like it just because of the flashlight thing, but like, it's weird. Like I know why they did the switch to the flashlight. Like they're trying to make it more difficult, but at the same time, it becomes really annoying. But then when you have the convenience of having the flashlight attached to your weapon, it makes things so much easier. And there's not really anything to kind of balance it out to make it, difficult in a challenging and a fun way. And I really think the original, like, it wasn't necessarily difficult in like a challenging and fun way. It was more difficult just, because of artificial difficulty and that, we have it so you have to constantly be switching back and forth to your weapon, your flashlight. And to me, it's just like, it felt like that was just something they tacked on to make the game feel hard when it just is more of an annoyance.
Agreed. What was another thing that came out? Like other consoles, like PS2. I know a lot of people love the PS2.
I'm gonna go ahead and say PS2 was my favorite console this gen.
Oof. Just ouch.
I think that's pretty much everybody's choice for that gen, though.
Not me.
It had the most games. It had some of the, well, I mean, I guess some of the best games is arguable, but it had the biggest library of games.
That's somewhat debatable.
Yeah. So what do you think had like a comparable library?
Or like a good comparison, you said? Like, not size-wise,
yeah.
but exclusivity to it?
Well, I mean, when I say like biggest library, I'm just pretty much just talking about like the size of the amount of games on there in general. Like, I mean, obviously, at least especially now, there's a lot of games that have been ported, but like back then, like it had the most games.
Yeah, at the time until later on. But now, I'm actually looking up to see how many games there were made. 658.
Jesus.
What the?
I would just like look up and see how many other.
I just
how many games are on each.
There are a grand total of 1,850 PS2 games.
Yeah.
But then again, it's about quality, not quantity.
Yeah, I mean, true. I will say, like, I think that even though GameCube didn't have a lot of games, like, there was a lot of games on there that were really good. PS2, like, I mean, yeah, there was a lot of games, but there was a lot of good games too. There was a lot of games that were really great on the PS2.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, there were a lot of games I enjoyed on the GameCube too, but there was significantly less games for that console.
Yeah, true, but it was mostly catered to like other crowds, like children.
Yeah, but I mean, the GameCube had some mature games on there, which is another reason why I liked it, because it was kind of a, there were children's games on there, but there was a lot of adult games too.
Yeah, like Geist, Eternal Darkness.
Oh God, did you play Geist?
Oh God, I did because my friend had it.
I played Geist as a kid. Like do you remember the final boss? He's in like a wheelchair.
Oh God, I didn't really.
He's like floating around in a wheelchair.
God damn! Now I kind of want to get that game now and just play it.
I almost want to do I'm tempted to do like a let's play of that game because I remember it being so ridiculous. I think you could like possess people in that game.
Yeah, and it had multiplayer in it too.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't it a shooter?
It
was
a single player, action adventure game, but it was also a first person shooter.
Yeah, that was actually a pretty good game. I mean, it's pretty underrated in my opinion.
Yeah, even though it has like a somewhat mixed score.
Yeah.
Like the highest score I see on it is an 8 out of 10. That's like the highest score that anyone's given it. Like I've seen like 4, 5, 2 out of 5 stars from someone called fucking Common Sense Media.
That name sounds familiar.
Common Sense Media. I'm looking this up. It is a non-profit organization that provides education and advocacy to families to promote safe technology for children. And they gave that game a 2 out of 10 or 2 out of 5.
I don't think it was that bad.
Oh no, hang on. I think this is kind of like a side track from that, but I think this has actually happened before.
What's happened before?
Hold on, Common Sense Media.
I'm confused with the safe technology for children thing. Like, what does that mean?
Yeah, it's to see like what could be like deemed appropriate for children. Okay, you remember the show Kids Next Door, right?
Yeah.
Common Sense Media gave it a 1 out of 5.
Why?
Silly cartoon is too violent for youngest viewers.
This is one of those like like fucking like overprotective group. Like it's oh god. Or like one of those organizations that was like, oh, this is too violent for your children. This is bad. Take it away.
Oh god.
It's bad influence on your children.
They gave Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends a 2 out of 5, saying imaginative premise, but may conflict little ones.
Ugh.
But gives Making Fiends a fucking 4 out of 5. Edgy, wickedly funny tune based on web series.
What's Making Fiends?
I don't know. 2 out of 5 for Dexter's Lab. Johnny Test, 3 out of 5. Why this?
Yeah, I don't know.
Why the fuck is that a thing? And
have a weird rating system.
Why the fuck is what a thing?
why is everything a thing? Have you heard of Making Fiends?
No.
Well, apparently Common Sense Media thinks this is appropriate for your children.
What?
I don't even know what that is, so
It's
I
very
have no
crudely
comment.
drawn art.
I'm waiting for them to say like "Happy Tree Friends" is appropriate for your
You
children.
know what? Don't fucking test me. I will do that right fucking now. Let's see. Common Sense Media. I am so fucking.
I don't even. I mean, would they even have reviewed?
They did review it.
Oh no.
1 out of 5.
Okay.
Gory.
At least they're a little bit consistent.
Oh, Happy Tree Friends? I
Yeah.
watched that.
Yeah, but this is. Well, apparently they did the right thing with saying it's not good for your children. And some people.
What about what about regular show? Is that good for your
Oh
children?
god! Now you just. This is just regular show. Let's look that up. Okay, regular show. The movie, a 3 out of 5. The movie, 3 out of 5. The game, 3 out of 5.
Huh.
You know what? I am curious about Adventure Time. Adventure Time Islands, or just Adventure Time in general, is like a 5 out of 5.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay then.
You know, I'm hold on. What do you want me to look up?
I don't know. You already looked up everything.
Oh no. I didn't look up everything. Courage, the Cowardly Dog.
Oh, that has some that. I
3 out of
mean,
5.
that's kind of what I
Old
expected.
fave tune plays over the top violence for laughs. Yet it's fucking terrifying for kids.
Actually, what about SpongeBob? SpongeBob has some shit.
I would laugh
It's,
if they gave that a fucking 1 out of 5. If they gave SpongeBob a fucking 1 out of 5, I'd laugh. Common Sense Media. What do we have here? Oh, the movie got like a 3 out of 5. No, 3 out of 5. Edgy, frantic animated comedies highlights friendship, fun. Edgy? Edgy?
Some people have argued SpongeBob is edgy.
SpongeBob
I don't
edgy.
really-
That's it.
Yeah.
I want to.
I've seriously like some of the people who are like cartoon reviewers on YouTube. They're like SpongeBob has some edgy humor.
Yeah, it totally has some edgy humor. Remember the
I don't know who said that. I think it might have been Mr. Enter or somebody else. But they're talking about how like SpongeBob is kind of has like edgy jokes or something. Or it's like all the jokes like are just about torturing Squidward.
either that or it's just like what was it, the Splinter, where it had like disgusting, gross out humor.
Yeah.
And then anytime he would mention a good SpongeBob episode, he's like, "Wow, this is actually a good one."
Mm-hmm. Anyways, console wars.
Anyways, console wars. Common Sense Media says the PS2 is a 1 out of 5. Very violent.
Look, Common Sense Media, that should tell you everything you need to know about them and their fucking opinions.
You know what? I'm actually gonna do something else too. PlayStation 2. Common Sense Media. Ah, shit. That's like the first thing that pops up. Oh.
What? What'd you look up this time?
The PS2?
What'd they think about the PS2?
What? Okay.
What?
Not PS2, but Okami HD.
What'd they say?
Perfect score.
I mean, it's a pretty good game, so...
FIFA! 5 out of 5.
Okay, they can get fucked.
NBA 2K12.
5 out of 5.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic game.
You know what? I have to look this up now. Grand Theft Auto 5.
Well, they said they're a group that like advocates for like children. Do you really think they're gonna give that a good fucking score?
Oh, nope. Apparently, Grand Theft Auto 5 is a 4 out of 5.
Really?
Incredible game. Oh, this is San Andreas, 4 out of 5. Incredible game. Incredibly inappropriate for kids. Crime.
It teaches you important values like killing hookers and
Crime,
You know,
crime, violence, sex, drugs, and alcohol, not for kids.
ugh. Um,
Like, all these games are like four, 5. What the? Common Sense Media has no common sense.
it's funny that that's their name.
Yeah,
Yeah, they lack any of it.
they lack it so much.
But yeah, go ahead as to your preferred console for this console generation.
I'm gonna stick with Nintendo, the GameCube, and Game Boy Advance.
Of course. I don't know, like, was the internet was like kind of slowly becoming a thing around this time, so
Yeah,
I'm assuming there was probably message boards where people were flaming each other over their opinions on consoles.
yep. On fucking GameFAQs.
Oh god, yeah, GameFAQs was probably around. Yeah, I think GameFAQs was around since like 2003 or something, right?
I think so. Let's find out again. I gotta do more research now.
You don't have to do research.
Common Sense Media.
I'm pretty sure it was like 2000.
I am curious now. Now this is
God
getting
damn it.
too far. Common Sense Media. Oh shit! Is there a thing for GameFAQs?
GameFAQs is incredibly inappropriate for your children. They'll be taught very negative values if they lurk on the GameFAQs.
Common Sense Media says that any swear word that you can imagine in Persona 5 is used.
Persona 5.
Really?
It's an M-rated game.
Common Sense Media. This one. But it got a 4 out of 5 though.
What the fuck is it with people like going to like R-rated movies or like playing M-rated games? Be like, there's swear words.
Wait, what? Okay. Parents say that 14 or older can enjoy Persona 5, yet kids say 13 or older can enjoy. I would say about
15. Oh, well, I don't know. There's some suggested themes in Persona, so
I would say 10.
really. Really?
Okay, GameFAQs.
You want your 10-year-olds to look at anime titties?
I think GameFAQs is 95 actually.
Stop abusing your sound board.
Not.
Yeah.
This podcast brought to you by Nut.
This broadcast brought to you by Staples.
That was
Actually, that's a pretty good segue. Do you remember those PSP commercials with the squirrels playing Nut?
Oh goddamn!
It's like, y'all can't play Nut. How did that fucking commercial go?
Why you playing nothing?
Why are you playing Nut?
You can play nothing outside.
Those commercials are so dumb.
Aaron, what the fuck is this? Back when Eagle Raptor was actually good.
Yeah.
He made fun of those commercials like, what the fuck is this? You think people like this? Take it off!
It was funny back in the day.
Oh god, yeah.
Back in the day, being like middle school.
Days in middle school. I think we already covered like Gen 6. Now we can move on to Gen 7.
Yep.
Now
And this is where the console wars really begin proper.
well, no,
At
that
least
was
as far as
the last
I'm
one.
concerned.
The last gen.
Yeah.
But this one the most because
I feel like it brought it more to the forefront just because, like, you know, the internet was more far along now and there was just more... Yeah, and YouTube was a thing.
yeah.
So I feel like people would just got more exposure to the console wars nonsense.
Yeah, exactly. Like fucking what did the what was it, Gen 7? I know the one that it did. It made Chad Warren a man that he is today.
Chad Warden.
Me and the we look like a dildo.
What's up, bitches? Sup, bitches? It's Chad Warden here. Alright, I'm talking about that PS Triple. The PS Triple. I ain't talking about that Wii. That Wii shit. That shit, people will be talking about how it's all new and shit. But you know what I'm trying to say? I'm trying to say is that Come on now. Wii? Come on. That little controller, baby, that looks like a dildo.
Ballin'. What was it? We fly. No lie. You know this.
You know.
Ballin'.
This is made PS Triple got all the games. Got the best.
Should be called Gears of War. Should be called Tears of War.
Man, no one playing on the Nintendo Wii. Man, the Wii looked like a dildo.
Chad Warden. Chad Warden was probably like the best thing really to come out of the console.
Yeah. Whatever happened to him?
He got married and has kids. I'm not kidding.
Is it Warden?
Yeah.
I gotta look him up. Chad Warden.
Like a Chad, he got married and has his kids. Well, actually, no, Chad. I don't know. I guess you could say the Chad would probably do something like that.
He deleted his fucking channel, I think.
Yeah, that makes sense. He probably wants to just not be an internet persona anymore.
But he was so good.
Yeah.
We Fly High. Wait, there's a thing for that one?
What?
Popularity. Oh, nope, that ain't him. Oh, nope. Here we go. Infinite We Fly High. Infamous YouTube satirist Anthony Pinto has prominently featured We Fly High during the intro and conclusions of the videos in support of PlayStation 3 under the pseudonym Chad Warden. Because of the infamy of these videos and the popularity of his persona, the comments of the song's official YouTube upload consist mainly of people referencing and quoting him. Jesus! I didn't even know that.
When a YouTube personality becomes more popular than a song.
Pretty much. This is.
But then I also see that with some other songs, at least with certain comments, where it's like, PewDiePie brought me here. Or some other YouTuber.
Or another one. Or Leafy.
Streamer.
Leafy could be another one.
Oh, Jesus. No.
With his fucking song. Apparently someone took that and made the, you posted.
Made what?
It was called You Reposted in the Wrong Neighborhood.
Oh, that, yeah.
You hadn't heard that song, have you?
I've heard that song, actually.
Like,
It's just the one with the... Yeah, I've heard that song.
What was his name? Shrunk.
Who?
That's the guy who wrote it was Shrunk. I don't know.
Oh yeah, that shows you how much I know about the original song.
Yeah.
I just know the stupid meme video.
Mm-hmm.
The dude with the pumpkin head dancing. Yeah, but anyways, 7th gen console wars. So, main two contenders really were like the PS3 and the 360. Nintendo, of course, had the Wii, which
first start off.
The Wii wasn't really trying. I don't think, or people that had the Wii weren't really trying to get involved. I mean, the Wii was just mostly a casual console, so I don't really think there was much stake it had in the whole console war thing.
No, but here's the funny thing about that, though. You say that it had no real relevance to the gaming console war.
Well, actually, was the Wii around during the, was it the 6th gen, or did it really, like, come into prominence in this gen?
No, it came out on the same year as the PS3.
Okay.
It came out on November 16th, or 19th, 2006.
Okay.
Well,
yeah.
2 days before PS3 took over.
I never really had a Wii. I had a Wii U.
I wonder...
Which was a mistake.
Did you buy a Wii U?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah,
apparently people loved that. Anyways.
Oh, yeah, it was great.
Mm-hmm. What I was going to say...
Apparently, I made a mistake. I should have just waited for the Switch.
Well, you didn't fucking know. Nobody knew.
And I was like, you know what, Nintendo, I'm done with you. And then the Switch came out. And I was like, fuck.
It's funny.
Now I have this useless piece of plastic.
Every time you look at your Wii U.
Nice fucking model!
I mean, Wii U had some things, but it's like, it's not enough for me to want to go back to it. It's really just kind of sitting there collecting dust.
True.
But yeah, so it was mainly like 360 and the PS3. 360 had a head start because it came out first.
Yeah.
And it was cheaper. So more people had it. But PS3, I would say, was kind of came up from behind metaphorically and was like, surprise, motherfucker.
And then the Wii was like, look at me, I'm here.
Yeah. But PS3, I would say, took a while for it to kind of gain more, get more people to get the console, mainly because Sony had the brilliant idea of having it be at a starting price of $600.
Yeah, it was expensive.
And one of the main selling points was actually, I think, the Blu-ray player, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was like, hey guys, because okay, so this was around the time where Blu-ray was becoming more prominent and was kind of phasing out DVD.
Yeah,
so
it was becoming
Xbox 360 had a DVD player. It did not have a Blu-ray player. PS3 had a Blu-ray player. So that was like one of the big things. It was like coming out the gate with like, hey guys, we have a Blu-ray player. But it was also $600, so everybody with common sense was like, fuck that.
Yeah, and they went to the 360 or the Wii. And it's funny though, Wii came out the first time. That motherfucker sold out quickly.
Yeah. Wii, of course, has the advantage of catering to the casual market and being more like a family-friendly console where, you could do like party games and stuff.
Yeah, with motion.
Yeah, motion controls. And at the time, as far as I know, it was like really the only console doing that kind of thing.
It was
until, of course, PS3 like later came out with like
the Move.
Yeah, the Move, which was kind of a failure, I think.
Yeah, and then fucking
same thing with like the Xbox and the Kinect.
No, honestly, the worst one out of the three was the Kinect at times.
Yeah, Kinect was pretty bad. I mean, at least it had some purpose because apparently now it's used as a medical device or something.
Wait, it's used as a medical device?
Yeah, like it's they use it. What do they use it for? They use it to like. I don't know exactly. Like I know it's used by. It's apparently used as some kind of a medical device. I don't know exactly what it is used for.
Connect medical services. Wait, what? What the fuck is this?
You didn't know about that?
But what does it use? Oh no, this.
I think it's like it can like what fuck. Some kind of like it's some kind of X-ray thing. I could be wrong, but I'm not sure exactly. You're not finding anything on it because I feel like I've heard somebody that it was used.
Physical therapy, surgery support, autism screening therapy, fitness and exer gaming. What the fuck?
I don't know what that is.
Virtual visits and virtual nurses. If you want a virtual nurse, just look up fucking porn or something. Virtual group therapy, aging in place and fall prevention. The aging in place and fall what?
Did it say fall prevention?
Yes, it did. Well, I guess people that like went to this and actually have fall prevention, they probably don't like Fall Guys.
How is it going to prevent you from falling?
Okay, could a passive could a passive Kinect sensor in an elderly person's home analyze their
man, I was about to make that joke. I've fallen and I can't get it.
And deliver an early warning about an increased risk of falling. That's
oh god, I feel like an ass.
Yes, you should, motherfucker. Here, I'm gonna send you that so people can see this shit. And helping the blind to navigate and the deaf to communicate. Okay, first of all, I can understand for the deaf because they can actually sign language with it, but the blind?
I don't know.
Maybe, okay, I can see this how it's worked. They have the Kinect on the fucking table or wherever they're nearby, and if they're about to like run into something, it gives like a loud beep noise that says Xbox on.
Yeah, I mean, or they could just use one of those like seeing eye dogs.
Well, the connector,
or like the one of those canes. Yeah, one of the canes Matt Murdock uses.
One of their canes. No, just get. What I'm really fucking wondering is what the fuck is Extra Gaming? Okay,
I really don't know.
I'm looking this up right now. Extra Gaming. Okay.
Carpal tunnel?
That's a different type of gaming. Anyways, Extra Gaming is okay. A good example of this will be like Wii Fit. Wii Fit. Beat Saber.
Extra game. Oh, I get it.
I didn't get that either. I was like, what is this new medical term?
Yeah. I guess interactive exercise. So innovative.
It was Ring Fit Adventure is actually not a bad one, but yeah.
But yeah, I mean, at least Kinect did something. You know, it at least is not totally useless.
No. What was another thing? Like, also for like Gen 7, I find it funny how fucking Sony comes out with their console first for the Wii, but Nintendo already did it a few months before with their handheld console, the DS.
What about the DS?
The DS came out way before the PSP.
Oh, yeah, yeah, but I mean, I guess this is just me, and you know, I just played the PSP more. I didn't get a DS until I got the 3DS, which I got the 3DS XL.
Yeah, the Persona 5 one. Or
yeah,
Persona
well,
Q.
the Persona Q, but yeah, but like I mainly just played the PSP and the PS Vita, so yeah, I didn't really play a lot of the DS or the 3DS, but I will acknowledge, yeah, I probably had more games, probably had better games, but I played more games on the PSP, so that's what I had more experience with. So I guess in terms of handheld, I guess I would say that's kind of my handheld of choice, which I'm pretty sure most people would disagree with me, but you know,
it's to each their own.
That's what I played more.
It's the same thing. Like a lot of people seem to speculate is that the DS may have more games. The PSP ran games better.
Oh yeah, it had better hardware.
Yeah, it had better hardware, but the problem was that when it came to games, it was like either games that no one really cared about or games that you could play better on consoles, like Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah, PSP had it had some good games, but it also had a lot of just meh, you know, kind of okay titles.
Yeah.
You know, not really anything that was gonna sell you on the handheld.
Yeah, it gave us Crisis Core. It gave us what was it? It gave us some Grand Theft Auto games. It gave us the Jack and Daxter and Ratchet and Clank spin-offs. What other games did it give us? I can't even remember.
There was a Medal of Honor game I played on there.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I actually forgot one game that it put on there. It gave us Peace Walker.
Yep.
In my opinion, the better Metal Gear Solid game. Not as good as 3.
It also had a portable ops.
That game sucked.
Really?
The fucking story good, control fucking bad.
Yeah, I do remember finding that game kind of annoying. I played that game, and it was one of like the few Metal Gear Solid games I played, and yeah, it was okay. But yeah, I remember being kind of annoyed by the controls.
Yeah, that game's controls really fucking sucked.
Yep. Okay, so but yeah, so like I guess for consoles, what was I saying? Like, okay, so PS3, like they lowered the price of the console and it became more affordable to people, and they eventually were starting to put out more games for it.
Yep.
And they had just a lot of decent exclusives for the console, and the people were starting to see the benefits of the Blu-ray disc format for games, because there was just more storage on the disc, and a game that would be on the 360 and a game that would be on the PS3. Like the PS3 game would probably, like, if it at least depending on what game it was, like it would only have like maybe like one disc, and at least for specific games they would only have like one disc to play the game. And then on Xbox on the 360 it might have like two discs.
You know what? You just gave me a great example.
What?
LA Noire on the 360 has 4 discs.
Oh, Jesus.
And, the complete edition has 4 discs. But the other one, the PS3, not even.
How many discs did it have?
I think it had only just 1.
Oh.
Because it's like you said, it's fucking had more memory.
Yeah, well, yeah, more storage. Blu-ray discs have bigger storage capacity.
The same thing we said about like Grand Theft Auto 5. It had a play disc and then the actual disc.
Yep.
It's the same with like.
I mean, to be fair, in the next generation, though, PS4 started to have just like the install discs and the play or the disc you would install the game on and the play disc, at least for certain games.
Yeah, like fucking, like I said,
Red Dead.
Red Dead was one. Final Fantasy 7 was another. It's just meh.
But yeah, mostly just PS3, because of the way it started out, it didn't catch on with people until later on in the generation, and it wasn't until near the end of the generation where I think a lot more people were playing on the console.
Yep.
So Xbox really benefited from having like a head start.
Yeah.
But as much as I do think Xbox 360 had its benefits, I'm just gonna have to say my console of choice was the PS3 in this generation. I'm assuming you guys are starting to notice the pattern. Sony has always kind of been my preferred platform. I'm not a fanboy, but it's just that I grew up playing PlayStation. That's what I've kind of always been used to, and a lot of the games on there I just end up liking more than what some of the other consoles have to offer.
So you're not a fanboy, you're just brand loyal. Not so much anymore. Because now, of course, I guess we could also bring up, this is also when, well, we should have probably brought this up in the last gen too, because that was when PC gaming was starting to gain more of a foothold, I would say. Yeah, with Steam and all that.
Yeah, we haven't really mentioned PC gaming. Okay, so PC gaming, like, it didn't really start coming along until like the early 2000s, when PCs were becoming more and more advanced. And there still wasn't a lot of games, but they were starting to slowly become more. It's becoming more of a contender in the gaming market, and especially like in the mid 2000s. That's, I think, when PC gaming started to, like I said, really gain a foothold and kind of creep its way into the whole console war thing.
Yeah, back when Steam came out in 2003.
And people really kind of started to overlook it. There were, of course, people that played on PC, but it wasn't as much as, not nearly as much as there are now. Or even, later on in the 7th gen. It was really during like the 7th gen with the 360 and the PS3 and the Wii when PC was really starting to catch on with people, because Steam was becoming a bigger thing, and they were getting a lot more games on PC, like games being ported over there, and people were starting to notice that, hey, when I play these games on PC, it's just a better experience. Now, of course, there's always bad ports, which we had, PC has its fair share of, but for the most part, it's just overall a much better experience to play games on PC. You have a higher refresh rate, you have more graphical options, the game looks better, you have the freedom to choose whether or not you want to play on a mouse and keyboard or play with a controller. They had a big community. If a game didn't run well, there's always the community fixes or people coming up with solutions. There's a lot more troubleshooting on PC, which can turn people off. But Once you got everything working, then, you know, you're good to go. And it's just a much better experience overall. I should also mention, of course, you know, of course you also had to, if you wanted like a serious gaming PC, you had to build it, which is another thing that can definitely deter people. Because building a PC, it's, I won't say it's the most simple thing ever, but it's not a hard thing either. But, you know, somebody who's a beginner is going to have a lot of trouble.
That you have to have a lot of money to make a good PC.
Yeah, like, I mean, you know, there were parts that were affordable, but, yeah, like, I mean, that's true even today. Like, you know, you really want a decent rig, you're going to have to shell out some money. But I will say, in comparison to, like, a console game, you know, if you want to run a game at a higher refresh rate, higher resolution, better graphical fidelity, there's not really too much money you got to spend to get a PC that'll do it better than a console would.
Yeah.
You know, at a similar resolution and all that, or maybe a little bit higher of a resolution than you would get on a console.
Yeah.
But, you know, PC gaming did not, you know, it was just starting to gain, more people were, you know, going to PC. And this is also around the time when I was starting to get into PC gaming. I think I was probably like around 14, 15 maybe when I started to really get interested in like customizing my PC and, you know, putting in a new graphics card and all this other stuff. I remember like some of the first games I started playing on there was like the Stalker games and some of the other games that were on Steam at the time. So like there was a lot of games that I was interested in playing on there, but it's still just like I said, it slowly gained like a more of a user base.
Yeah, like I know for that Steam got really popular as time went on.
Yeah, because in the early days, Steam was mainly just like a lot of the Valve games.
Yeah, it was like
Half-Life and Counter-Strike and
Left 4 Dead.
A lot of those other games. And I mean, there were some other games it was getting, but it was just mostly just Valve.
Yeah, it was mostly the Valve games, and I just don't really care for the Valve games until they started saying, hey, all the PC games, all the games are going to come here, and it's like, sweet.
Yeah.
But
it wasn't until then that Steam kind of really took off.
Yeah, and
just became so much of a moneymaker that Gabe Knowles just decided, I'm not going to make any more games.
Why? You want Half-Life 3? Fuck you.
Yeah.
Oh, you want Half-Life 3? Here's Half-Life Alex, a VR game.
I mean, I will say at least we got a new Half-Life game. It wasn't Half-Life 3, but it's something.
Apparently.
And I mean, I feel bad for the Half-Life fans at this point. It's like I'm pretty sure at this point they're just like, I'll take anything I can get.
Yeah.
Just give me something.
It's like
they'll take the table scraps. They're like, just give me the table scraps. I'll fucking eat it up.
Exactly. That's what they're doing. It's really sad.
And of course, there's also rumors that there is work being done on another Half-Life game. I don't know what it is, but it's something apparently. But who knows? I mean, I'm pretty sure at this point Half-Life fans are familiar with the being disappointed. So, you know, don't get your hopes up too high. But at least we have Half-Life Alyx, which, you know, it's honestly the one game that makes me want to actually get a VR headset.
It looks interesting, but at the same time, I'm just like, I don't care for Half-Life.
I mean, graphically, it's like really impressive for a VR game, and the stuff you can do in it with VR is pretty impressive too. So, I mean, I'll give them credit. The game looks pretty good, and apparently, it's gotten a lot of good reception. So, you know, I'm definitely interested in checking it out sometime. Maybe if I ever get a VR headset, I'll probably play it.
Yeah, the graphics for it look really good too. Yeah, not gonna lie.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, even despite it being a VR game, it's really good graphically.
Another game that's actually really good, like graphically, is it's funny enough, VR game, The Walking Dead: Saints and Sinners. That's one game that looks really good.
I think I've seen that one.
Yeah, like it came to PS4's VR, so it looks, like I said, looks really good. Problem is, it's $40 to $50.
Nope.
Unless I get money in the bank, it's like okay, but no.
Yeah.
But I think for because mine wasn't even mentioned, like which one I would pick.
Oh yeah, I was gonna ask.
You said PSP and PS3.
Yeah.
I'm like opposite. Like even though I like the Wii, I'm going with the 360 because I have more fun with the 360.
Yeah, I mean, you probably had that for longer.
Yeah, it was like the first console because my brother had a fucking 360 and I didn't. I want to play games with him, so on a trip to fucking Oklahoma with my mother to visit one of my aunts, we stopped by a Walmart and I bought or either it's a GameStop or a fucking Walmart, and I bought the 360.
Nice.
And the majority of the trip, I just played the fucking game. I think the only game I played on it was BioShock.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man, I remember that now. I remember when I had a 360, and I played BioShock on there. That was a good fucking game. Like, that was one of the games I played on 360.
It still is a good game.
It still is, yeah, I know. But I'm just saying, like, that was... yeah, I have fond memories of playing that game. It was one of the games I really liked a lot when I played it on 360.
Yep. And then DS for me for the other one. Actually, no, for the handheld for that one, it's kind of tied. I like the 3DS and the PSP for different reasons. Mm-hmm. So that's the only thing I have to say about that one.
Yep. And now, of course, we have our most recent console generation, the one we're, I guess you'd say we're still in.
Yeah, but before we actually do that, anyone remember the Wii?
I would say a lot of people remember the Wii. It was a popular console.
Not the Wii U?
Oh, I thought you said the Wii.
No, if people remembered the Wii U and they go, oh, upgrade?
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Here's my biggest problem with the Wii U. It wasn't the game console or the controller, and it wasn't the games on it. It was how they marketed the goddamn thing.
Yeah, and they marketed it as being kind of like the next gen, like next gen Wii, next generation of the Wii.
Actually,
which technically it was. But,
actually, no, they didn't even do it like that.
What?
They sold it off and marketed it as an upgrade. That
I mean, that is not necessarily wrong.
You want to play the better Wii? Get the Wii U.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that's kind of accurate. It's a more powerful console, and it's than the Wii. But in terms of the library of games, not so great.
Yeah, the quantity of games, the quality of the games. It's like that was around the same time that the Xbox One and the PS4 were coming out.
Yeah. And Nintendo was kind of behind, too.
Yeah, very much.
Because, they had the Wii U.
Yeah.
And it's couldn't really compete with those consoles. But, I mean, they definitely came out swinging later on when they decided to just completely abandon the Wii U and just go to the Switch.
Yeah, go into the Switch and Switch Lite. That came out 2 years after the original Switch.
And it kind of pissed me off because I actually... I didn't have a Wii console before, and then I just got the Wii U. And then that was... Not too long after that, they were like, oh, hey, we're doing a new console. And it was at the time called the NX, and then it became known as the Switch. Yeah,
it was called the NX, and it had a cool name. Then when it came out as the Switch, people were so fucking confused.
Yeah.
What the fuck is it called a light switch? And then people saw more of it. It's like, hey, it's a home console, but it's also a portable console.
I think it was a good idea.
Yeah, they essentially took the 3DS, ditched that fucking thing, and they made a another portable handheld. So it's like, okay, sweet.
Yeah, and I mean the Switch has a decent library of games, has some pretty good games, and
now
but the only problem is it's not very powerful. Any game that really ends up getting ported to the Switch, you can pretty much expect it to be kind of a inferior version of what it is on the other platforms. So I mean, if you're looking for some kind of graphical powerhouse or something that runs games at a high refresh rate or anything. You're not going to get it, at least with like a lot of the third party titles. Maybe like the first party stuff, it'll run fairly well.
Yeah, the first party stuff actually runs really good on it.
Yeah, but anything like third party, it's going to have a lot more trouble with.
Yeah, like Doom, Wolfenstein.
Yeah.
The only port that was actually okay was Skyrim.
I hear apparently The Witcher 3 was actually an okay port on there too. But
yeah, that's what. Besides the graphics being meh, it's still better.
Yeah, they obviously, I'm pretty sure, had to downgrade those significantly for the Switch.
It's like, hey, you like playing games with higher resolution? Yeah. You like your Switch? Yeah. Well, too fucking bad. You get really subpar graphics.
Speaking of The Witcher 3, and I know this is kind of diverting away a little bit, but apparently CD Projekt Red says that they're going to port Witcher 3 to the next gen consoles, and when they do that, at least for the PC version, The Witcher 3 is going to have, I guess, this is kind of a free upgrade to the people who already own The Witcher 3 on PC. They're going to have the option to install a patch that'll patch the game to look like the next gen ports of the game are going to look.
That'll make it look better.
Console. Yeah,
but they won't.
Oh, they probably will. CD Projekt Red's done stuff like that before. They did that with Witcher 2, when it was they had a major patch for Witcher 2 where they really improved like the visuals and gave us new DLC and stuff. They did that for free for people who already own the game.
Yeah.
So, based CD Projekt Red, they're like probably one of my favorite developers.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden, Project CD Red releases Cyberpunk, and everyone goes crazy.
Oh, they probably will. I mean, like, that's probably one of my most anticipated games is Cyberpunk, but
really?
Hopefully they don't delay it again.
Really? I thought it was Last of Us Part 2.
Oh, get fucked.
Nope.
I mean, it might have been at one point.
It was never my my anticipated game. That was something else.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't.
And it was the Atari Jaguar coming out again in 2020.
Yeah, the Atari Jaguar comes back to compete with like the modern consoles.
No, but they don't name it Jaguar. They still go with cats. They call it the Panther.
Oh,
or Bobcat or whatever the fuck is a intimidating. They call it no.
And then Joe Exotic promotes it.
No. Oh god, that's actually what I was going to joke. They're going to call it the Atari Tiger. Joe Exotic sings.
Look, he just has to come out of prison temporarily to do an ad campaign for the for the new Atari Jaguar.
Yeah, I mean, goddamn.
He's surrounded by tigers while he's playing the Atari Jaguar.
And you see Carol Bliskin kill her husband in the background.
You mean Carol Baskin?
Blaskin, who fucking cares? Ends with kin.
Speaking of Carol Baskin, apparently they reopened the investigation into the death of her husband. But I don't really know if anything's going to come of that, because I also heard apparently she's going to be on the new season of Dancing with the Stars. I'm not kidding. I saw that on Twitter. I was well, why?
Hold on. Carol Baskin dancing.
I'm like,
why?
I'm just like, who is she though? Like, literally who? You're not a fucking celebrity. You're just a crazy cat lady.
Of course.
Who happens to be have some notoriety because of you having a spat with Joe Exotic, and because you were on the Tiger King documentary.
Jesus Christ. Hang on, I really gotta look this shit up.
I just saw it trending on Twitter one time. I was like, what?
I love how someone said, what is it? 2020 just got weird. Tiger King star Carol Baskin joins Dancing with the Stars cast. She looks like a fucking hippie.
She's a Karen.
I have to look at this video. No one knows who you're... No one cares about you, Tyra Banks.
But yeah, she kind of is she's a hippie and she's a Karen.
Okay, I know who Nelly is, but who the fuck are these people?
I'm pretty sure a lot of the people on Dancing with the Stars are like washed up celebrities.
No, I would laugh if fucking she gets booted off and she kills the judge with a tiger.
She feeds him to the tiger.
Oh, here, kitty.
And then she like buries him in her backyard or something. How'd these human bones get here? I don't know, officer.
Where's Tyra Banks? Oh, she's no longer the host. Carol Baskin, will be the new host. Jesus Christ. Anyways, let's talk about something that's been dead, like her Carol Baskin's husband, the Nintendo 3DS and the Vita.
Oof. Well, I would say the Vita probably more so than the 3DS.
No, 3DS is dead now.
Oh, well, yeah. Yeah. Oh, no. Oh, really?
Yeah, they don't make games for the 3DS anymore because of the Switch.
Yeah, but I mean, the 3DS had a better run than the Vita, in my opinion. Like, it's just had more games. It was more popular.
True, and Nintendo actually gave a fuck about their handheld than Sony did. Sony just like, oh, it's a legacy platform. Fuck it. Third parties can have it. We don't care.
Yeah, like the Vita's like the handheld that could. Like it's a really powerful handheld, and it had a lot of pretty decent games on there, but it just didn't have enough games to really like. Well, it wasn't so much the games, but it was some other things too, like the memory card. It didn't what?
It didn't have enough support from like first party developers. Also, they tried selling the memory cards.
I was gonna mention that. Like Sony tried to sell their own, their own memory cards for like a really jacked up price.
Yeah, or I forget how big of a gigabyte it was. Like the biggest
32 and 64.
No, it was like
15, 32, 64. Or something.
It was actually higher than that.
Oh, was it?
It was like close to like maybe 128 gigs.
Wow.
And apparently, or was it terabyte? Hold on, I'm going to look up memory cards now.
It was not terabytes, it was gigabytes, I'm pretty sure.
Hold on.
There is no fucking way it was terabytes.
Okay, complete list or cheat sheet. 64. Yeah, and here's the one thing I actually fucking hated about the fucking Vita. Anytime you would download a game, and it's like, I'm gonna use this as an example. Fucking Hyperdimension Neptunia Rebirth 1. They wanted a shitload of updates. And it
took up a lot of your memory.
Yes, I hated that. And then there's some games that are like, oh yeah, this game is like 5 gigs, but it's over within 2 hours.
Yeah, I mean the console had a lot of horsepower, and it had the OLED screen, which was nice.
The touch screen, yeah.
Yeah, but the 3DS just had more games, and it had more support. It just had a bigger library of games. It was more successful. I mean, I would still say the Vita is worth checking out for certain games, but
like
it's like for like JRPGs or like like visual novels. There's some of those on there.
I was gonna say games like Persona 4 Golden and Danganronpa.
Yeah, but that's not even true anymore.
Yeah, that's true. or the dancing game, but that's not true anymore either because PS4 and PC has you covered.
Pretty much.
Maybe Freedom Wars or Soul Sacrifice or
the
original Tearaway, but I don't know. It's like one of those things you can't really
justify like buying it or anything.
Yeah, even the Vita TV.
At least right now.
The Vita TV was the same way. Hey, you want to play this game that actually uses a controller? Yeah. Well, fuck you. It's not compatible.
buy the Vita TV, and like most of the games are supported. Though I know there was like a hack for that. Like, you know, you could get some of the games to play on there that supposedly weren't supported.
Yeah, exactly. And then you just get the other version of the game, get the like PS3 version, and buy all the DLC. Look at you, Disgaea 3. Yeah. And that's another thing I've noticed is that they started porting the Disgaea games over to the PS4, Switch.
Mm.
Have you?
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, you've heard they put the pretty games on there now.
Oh, the pretty game, yeah.
Yeah, both of them.
Yeah, the pretties.
They put that on there. Disgaea 1, 4, and 5 complete.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, kudos. They did something right, but goddamn.
Yeah. But yeah, I guess there's not too much else to say about like handhelds this generation. That's
well, we can't say that the 3DS was better in quantity, and
yeah. I mean, even though I mostly just played on the Vita, I would have, and I do think it has its advantages. I would have to say, like, yeah, 3DS would still like it kind of be my handheld of preference, I suppose, just because of the amount of games that's on there.
Yeah, it depends.
While the Vita did have games that I liked on there, it's just like there wasn't enough to really justify all the extra bullshit you had to go through in order to play some of these games.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I would say
yeah.
I would say the 3DS for quality and quantity, but Powerhouse would go to the Vita any day.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, so in terms of consoles, we kind of have the opposite situation going on because Sony pretty much came out of the gate swinging this time, and console launched with some pretty good exclusives, at least from what I remember.
Knack 1, baby. That was like the only one people cared about.
Yeah, I know. Like not too long after it came out, they had like Bloodborne, because that was a game that it kind of sold me on the console.
They also had Infamous Second Son too, but
yeah, which was an okay game. And then like Xbox One just had a disastrous launch because like during the conference for it, they just advertised it as being a TV, like a cable box. Yeah. And like talking about the TV capabilities of it, which nobody really cared about.
Xbox.
And yeah, it was just everybody made memes about it. It was just a disaster. Like and Don Matrick because he was still president at the time just did not make it any better.
Yeah, like he kept like saying
he
that
kept shooting himself in the foot with all his statements, and it just made it just was bad PR.
Yeah, he said, what did he say? He said that
he said like because it was like you had to, apparently people were saying you had to be connected to the internet or something, and
the Connect, you have to use the Connect for it.
Yeah, like and then of course Don Patrick was saying like
no you don't.
Well, if you don't have any internet, we have a solution for you, and it's called Xbox 360.
It's a great line for games.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
I think people are going to love it, and then they're going to understand what we're trying to create and how it links games and entertainment, the functionality of the box, some of the advantages that you get of having a box that is designed to use an online state. So that, to me, is a future-proof choice, and I think people could have arguably gone the other way if we didn't do it, and fortunately we have a product for people who aren't able to get some form of connectivity. It's called Xbox 360.
Right. So stick with 360. That's your message. If you don't,
Well,
people don't like it.
if you have zero access to the internet, that is an offline device. I mean, seriously, when I read the blogs and thought about who's really the most impacted, there was a person who said, hey, I'm on a nuclear sub, and I don't even know what it means to be on a nuclear sub, but I've got to imagine that it's not easy to get an internet connection.
Oh, and he sounded like a condescending asshole like when he said that shit, and people were just like, nobody, it's like that meme, everyone disliked that. And that's pretty much what happened.
I know another thing that they really got pissed off about. If you were like borrowing a game from somebody, you have to pay a fucking fee.
Yeah.
And then
yeah.
And then Sony came back was like, here's how you share games. Here you go, John. Thank you, Matt. And that's it. It's like, fuck.
Yeah, they just memed on them. They just like they just made fun of them. That's all they had to do. it was really easy because they just made it so easy for them, just to be mocked. And they just played themselves. Exactly. They just, like DJ Khaled said, that you played yourself.
Congratulations.
Yeah, so they just looked terrible, and everybody just who was probably in the last gen, like was on the 360, just was like, well, fuck this, I'm just gonna buy a PS4.
Or fuck this, I'm gonna go get a Wii U.
And most people just had most people just owned the PS4.
No, some people went to the Wii U or the Atari Jaguar. Who cares? They went to someone that wasn't Xbox.
Yeah, but this is, of course, when the console wars, I would say, was at like the was kind of the height of the console wars. Well, maybe I guess maybe you'd say that was probably in the last generation, but it's still like going pretty strong. PC was just becoming more and more relevant because they were getting more and more ports, more games, more people going to PC, more people building PCs. The PS4 is having more PC-like architecture, so a lot of people, would say it's kind of like a little mini PC at this point. Same thing with the Xbox One, kind of.
Yeah.
So it's just like there's just more reason to kind of switch over to PC, and I, still, had my gaming PC at the time, so I would kind of switch between the PS4 and the PC, but I feel like, especially later on in the PS4's life cycle, I just started to gravitate more towards my PC. There were some games I would still play on PS4, but a lot of games, especially near the very end, started being ported over to the PC. And apparently, with Sony's recent announcement, a lot of games that are on PS4 are going to go to PC because apparently it's because Sony has realized, I think, that there's more money to be made in the PC market, which I can't blame them for. They're not wrong. So they're deciding to just kind of bring their games over to the PC.
Yeah, pretty much. And I get what they're doing, but at the same time, it's pissing off a lot of people.
Yeah, anybody that just cares about exclusives they're kind of upset, and I can understand why. I mean, it's like that's honestly part of the reason why I play on console. It's it's kind of like I want to play games you can only play on there. Exactly. And that's becoming less and less of a reason for me to play on the console. It's like, I'm just thinking, why can't I just play this on PC unless it's like a terrible port or something, which sometimes that is the case, but that's kind of what we have community fixes for. Like it's more troubleshooting, but it's like at the end of the day, like I said, you're getting a better version of that game.
Yep.
Than you would get on the console. And not to mention because my PS4, and apparently this is a problem, I guess I could say this is a problem with some of the certain models of the PS4, like earlier models, because I know it's a problem with mine. Apparently there's an issue where it's just, the PS4, if it's under a lot of heavy load, gets loud as fuck.
Oh,
and it's the most annoying thing ever. I hate it. It's so loud and it heats up, it gets so fucking hot that I really seriously think my PS4 is about to explode sometimes. And it's another reason why I just kind of play on PC. Like, can my PC get loud sometimes? Sure, it can get kind of loud, but not like that. So, yeah, like, I'm just like, it's just another reason why I'm just like, I don't know if I really want to play this graphically intensive game that I know is going to make my PS4 fans sound like it's just go full fucking blast. Like Ghost of Tsushima does that too. Final Fantasy VII Remake did that. There's quite a few games. Red Dead 2 definitely did that. Just discourages me from wanting to play on there because it's like I don't want to deal with that shit. I don't want to hear that.
Yeah. But what?
I mean, it's like I could buy another model. I could upgrade to the PS4 Pro. Oh yeah, how about we talk about that? The PS4 Pro and the Xbox.
Yeah,
the Xbox
series,
One
the Xbox One X and the S series. And let's talk about that. How even the early ones did that too. Even the Xbox 360 and the PS4 or the PS3 and even the Wii did this. How they made different consoles. Like different sizes.
Yeah, I mean, with PS3, you have like PS3 Slim, but I mean, this isn't necessarily the same thing. These are basically supposed to be like upgraded hardware for the consoles, so it's like supposed to be more powerful.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I can understand why they did it. They're basically trying to keep up with the PC. Problem is, you're never going to catch up to the PC. Like, I hate to say it, but it's just not going to happen. I mean, you can get close, but you won't catch up. So it's like, that's basically the only reason they did that. I mean, like, I honestly don't know if I can really recommend it. I guess if you're, like, really, really want to play, like, those exclusives, sure, go ahead. But, like, I'm pretty sure, like, and this is what ended up happening, these exclusives are eventually going to get ported. So, I just don't know if there's much of a reason. It's just, like, if you really want to, play these games at, like, higher fidelities and higher refresh rates, it's like, I'm going to pull Don Matrick. I got a simple solution for you. It's called a gaming PC.
No, it's called the Xbox 360.
Yeah, Xbox 360.
Yeah, and what was it? Even the Switch did that. Like Nintendo did with the Switch Lite, which took away the dock, so you can't play it on the TV. So you have to play it on the go.
Yeah. Yeah, because they had like docked mode, undocked mode.
I just like to call it TV or portable.
Yeah. And of course, yeah. So I guess I'll just go ahead and say, like, my system of choice this gen. I guess just in terms of specifically like console, PS4. Although
PC.
I was gonna say PC, but
Dick.
but I'm also like thinking of the games that were at least exclusive when the PS4 first, came out. I'm thinking of it in terms of like, how I really enjoyed it then. I guess if you were to ask me now, like, like I would say now in this stage of the life cycle, I would say it's PC. But overall, I guess I would say PS4. When they still had more exclusives, but now I'm just like, yeah, PC.
Yeah,
there's just more games. There's just more games on there, and there's more of the PS4 exclusive that are coming over to PC.
Yeah, but if you had to stick with just consoles, because PC saying that.
If it was just consoles, then PS4.
Yeah.
And yeah, I would say like if gun to my head, like if I didn't have the choice of PC, then obviously I would probably have to go with PS5 for the next gen. At least just because they kind of announced, well, they got a Demon's Souls remaster. Really want to remake. Really want to play that.
Yep. PS5.
Well, actually, never mind. Actually, I don't know. Because, like I said, like Series X has some decent things on there too, so that's a good question. Actually, I'm not sure. There are some things I'm interested in with PS5, but then there's, I guess, in terms of quantity, there's more games I'm kind of interested in on Series X. So I don't know. I guess maybe I'm leaning a little bit more towards Xbox this gen if like I didn't have the option of PC.
Or are you saying for not this gen but next gen?
Oh yeah. Sorry, next gen.
Yeah. Because I would say for like my choice for this year, we already said my handheld, but it's kind of a tough one actually because I've been playing more on my Switch recently, and I enjoyed playing on the PS4 a lot. But I don't know, for different reasons, like the whole convenience, I would say the Switch. But for everything else that makes it really good, like a console, what it is, I would say the PS4.
Yeah.
And not.
I mean, like, I would consider the Switch, but I just haven't. I never really got around to getting the Switch.
Oh, the Switch is actually really good. I recommend it.
The only games I'm really kind of interested in is like the Xenoblade Remaster and Xenoblade Chronicles 2. And maybe the Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, Breath of the Wild. It's not that bad.
I was interested in Deadly Premonition 2, but now I'm just like, I just don't know.
Oh, you're not? You're still not?
Well, no, because it's just like I don't want to play a game that's runs like ass.
I would still get it just because it's Deadly fucking Premonition.
I don't know. I mean, I like Deadly Premonition, but I'd still kind of like it to run semi-decently and not like just like a slideshow.
Makes sense.
I don't know. Maybe this is just the just me being used to being spoiled as a PC gamer, that I just cannot handle that frame rate.
Of course you can't. Fucking spoiled child.
Just sub 20 frames a second.
Fucking spoiled child. You're not a real gamer. You care about the visuals.
Well, hey, bitch, I started playing games on the console. Shut up. Like, I didn't move to PC until later.
You know what? I will say this, because we didn't... I was going to say, like, what's the future of it? But you already did it already, which is the PS5 and Xbox Series X. Or Xbox X Series.
What's the future? Do you mean, like, what do you think the future of the whole, like, console war thing is?
Yeah, that's exactly what I mean.
Oh. I don't know, man. Like, I feel like we're at the point where it's just like we've reached the height of like the technical prowess with the consoles and well, more so just with the PC, I would say. We've reached the height of technical prowess with like what the PC is capable of in terms of visuals with like games and stuff and performance, and consoles are just they're just struggling to try to, because really, like, now it's like, at least with Microsoft and Sony, not so much with Nintendo, but with Microsoft and Sony, it's mostly like about them trying to go for like visual fidelity and well, not even really frame rate, more so visuals. They're really trying to push like 4K and some of these other things like ray tracing.
Yeah, that's what they're trying to do.
PC's been doing that. I feel like the consoles are really, if they're going to try to do ray tracing, they're going to struggle, because ray tracing is going to push the hardware to its limits. If it's like actually ray tracing they're doing.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I just feel like we're going to reach a point where the lines are just so blurred. They really are kind of blurred now, even with with the consoles versus PC. I mean, console games, there's not much of a difference, with how you play the game. You still have to install the game, technically, before you play it. There's not really, like, the benefits are becoming to, like, having a console as opposed to playing games on a PC, at least with, like, Sony and Microsoft, are just becoming less and less. And there's just less of a reason to want to play on a console as opposed to, like, just playing on a PC. And I think more people are realizing that.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to say, like, I'm not trying to say, like, building a PC is the easiest thing in the world. Like, I feel like a lot of people oversimplify how easy it is. It's not that easy, but it's not hard either. It's kind of in the middle, I would say. Like, you might have some moderate difficulty with it. But, at the end of the day, once you've finished it, you don't really have to, you're pretty much done. All you have to do after that is maybe if you ever want to upgrade it, or you just have to switch out parts. You also always have the option of having other people build it for you, although of course that's
pricey.
Kind of, it could be pricey. You're paying a little bit extra for it, but I mean, hey, there's that option there. Don't have to do it yourself. But yeah, I just feel like PC gaming is more accessible now than I think it's ever been, and more people are kind of starting to move over to it. I still think consoles have their place. I think Nintendo really is like the biggest reason to kind of, get a console, because like Nintendo, when they say something is exclusive, they usually mean it. Like you can only really play it on there.
Yep.
Not always the truth with like Sony and Microsoft.
Yeah, especially those two, because it's like, oh yeah, Yakuza is a fucking goddamn exclusive property to Sony. Horizon Zero Dawn, and then all of a sudden you see Horizon Zero Dawn coming to PC, and then you see the Yakuza series going straight to Xbox and PC, and it's like, is everything just a timed exclusive now?
Yeah, it seems that way.
And
Like, as we know, like the Final Fantasy VII Remake is also a timed exclusive.
Oh, shit.
So, yeah, you didn't know that?
I thought that was exclusive only to PS4.
No.
That sucks.
Yeah, so... I mean, it's like... I don't really care. Like, it's, for the most part, maybe used to, but I guess I'll just say with the whole console wars thing, like, I no longer really have much of a dog in the fight. Like, I'm just like, as a PC gamer, I'm just kind of sitting on the sidelines eating my popcorn, seeing what's going to happen. It's like, just every time I see a game there's a console exclusive kind of getting ported over to PC, I'm like, oh, cool. Now I can play Final Fantasy VII at a higher refresh rate, and I can play it in higher fidelity graphics, higher resolution. I think it's great. It's like more for me.
More for everybody.
I mean, not to mention, sometimes because these games have been out for a while, when they come over to PC, sometimes they get sold as like a discounted price. So it's like you're like paying like $40 for it or something when, people who got it on console day one were paying like 60 plus.
Yep. Oh, Jesus. I think when we're talking about like games that are $60, I think Nintendo is worse.
Really?
Yeah, because like games that are like $60, hey, they've been out for 4 years, still 60.
Yeah, with certain games, it's just like they just don't. You sometimes just don't drop much in price. It's crazy. But yeah, like I feel like with this, with the next console generation, the lines, like I said, the lines are going to be totally just completely blurred. I feel like it's just, we're probably going to see more and more people that are going to move to PC. I mean, because Sony's already said that they're interested in kind of porting some of their games to the PC. So I think that being said, we're probably going to see just going to see more people transition over to that. That is unless the consoles just, both consoles. I mean, also, well, maybe I guess also Nintendo, they just come out with a lot of games or a huge library of games, and there's just, more incentive to play on there, but I honestly kind of doubt it. I just can't see that happening.
I highly doubt it now. I know that the future is going to be like, hey, the one console that can play everything. Everything.
I mean, there's only really like a handful of games I'm interested in actually checking out on both platforms. But like I know with PC, it's like there's always new stuff coming out. I mean, PC's not a console, but it's PC, and yeah, you want to talk about something that plays, well, maybe not everything, but most things. PC.
Yep.
Has biggest library of stuff.
Biggest library, and also the most expensive parts.
Yeah, but it's also just like it's not just a gaming thing too. You can do plenty of different things on a PC, so you also have to take that into consideration too.
Yep.
Like when you're paying to buy a PC, it's not just a gaming thing. It's a lot of other things too. So, yeah. What were we talking about?
I don't know. We were talking about like the future of fucking consoles.
The future of console wars.
Yeah.
I guess you would say the future of console wars is there probably won't be much of one. It's mostly just going to be like consoles versus the PC at this point.
Yeah.
The PC's just become so monumental, and it's gaining more of an audience. I think the consoles just have to worry about like Steam and maybe even some of these other platforms, where people get these games, just easily get some of these games.
Yep.
Gabe Newell is probably the biggest the biggest thing they have to worry about.
I think Gabe Newell would make a shitload of money.
Oh, he is.
He still is. Valve makes up computer parts.
Oh yeah, that's right. I saw there was a question where it was just like, what about PC? So I think we already covered that.
Yeah, we did. We already covered it.
Okay. I think we pretty much covered like a lot of the console war stuff, at least from our perspective. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot more to be said, but with the earlier generations, it's just like I don't have much of an opinion just because either because I wasn't around or a lot of the information I know about it is like secondhand information. There's a lot more I can say about obviously like the 6th, 7th, 8th gen.
Yep.
Not so much about like stuff before that.
Yeah, pretty much. That's like the only thing is we either don't know much about it or it's very obscure.
Right.
Yep.
So yeah, that all being said,
Yep.
I think we can move on to one of the recurring segments.
Yep. Things that we like this week. Or so far. I keep calling it this week.
Yeah. Well, as of this recording, we're still on the weekend, so.
Yeah.
Actually, no. At least on my end, it is officially midnight, so it is actually this week.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, what do you have this week? Or you want me to?
Do you want to go first
week?
this time? I still kind of got to think on that.
All right, good. This time I'm not gonna think on mine because fuck, I couldn't think of anything to save my life. Well, I already discussed it in the beginning with the controversy, Spiritfarer. It's actually a really fun game. Didn't expect it to be. Yep, a game about dying, being the ferryman to send people into the afterlife or to the other world to let their souls rest. I forget how Greek mythology works because they make a reference to Charon in Hades.
I thought you just said they make a reference to Karen.
Chiron. I don't know. It's like...
Oh, yeah, Chiron. I thought you said Karen.
I don't know how you pronounce it. I don't know if it's like Charon or Karen.
The most popular figure in Greek mythology, the Karen.
The ferryman, Karen.
She's going to report you to your manager.
Until Hades comes out of nowhere and says, I am the manager, Karen.
Okay, so I guess I just remembered what mine was. I guess I'll just say, like, The Boys Season 2, or at least the first 3 episodes of it. Really good so far, although I'm really pissed as to how they're choosing to release the season. They're basically doing this to where they release, like, the first 3 episodes, and then they have, like, they're going to release one episode at a time. And I hate it.
What is it?
The Boys. It's The Boys Season 2.
Oh, that's how they're doing it now?
Yeah. It's stupid. Like, I'm just like, nobody likes this. I don't think anybody likes this decision. Because they released the first season all at once. Same with a lot of these other streaming platforms that release these shows. And now all of a sudden Prime is like, let's just do it like a cable TV show or something where we just release one episode at a time. It's really annoying.
Yeah.
Because so far it's actually pretty fucking good. Obviously I can't compare it to the comics because I've noticed people are saying, oh, they're diverging from the comics, but I mean the story's decent, so I mean I don't know. Maybe if I knew more about the comics I'd be a little bit more annoyed, I guess, but you know, because I think some of the people are complaining that with the new character Stormfront, they changed the gender of Stormfront because in the comics it was a dude. Is a dude with a swastika or something. In the show, it's a woman, and she doesn't have like a swastika or anything like that. She's just kind of crazy. Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, I don't mind it. She's an interesting character, so I'm not really too upset about it or anything. And of course, they have Gus Fring in there, so that's good. He's always, of course, playing the villain character, which of course he's doing in this show.
Wait, really?
Yeah, Gus Fring is in it.
What was he?
He's like one of the executives, I guess, in the Vought Corporation.
Okay, now I see his name. And he's also going to be the main villain of fucking Far Cry 6.
Yeah, he is.
Good.
Yeah, he's always playing the villain, but I feel like it's kind of the role he was born to play. But yeah, The Boys Season 2, really great so far. I'm just really pissed that I have to wait for the rest of the season to come out, and it's not going to, the rest of it, like, it's not going to be finished, like, because there's 8 episodes, and it's not going to be finished until like October. So that's annoying.
It is very annoying.
But yeah, if you haven't seen The Boys, it's a great show. It's kind of a satire on like superheroes and kind of like pretty much just superheroes in general, and like the whole cinematic universe idea and all this other stuff associated with superheroes. It's got elements of comedy, it's got elements of drama, it's got all this other stuff. Like, it has an interesting story. It tells a good story while also kind of being a satire of these things that we've come to associate with superheroes.
Yeah. It's like
and also being, of course, really dark and edgy, which is something else I really like about it.
It's like a fucked up version of it, like anti-heroes.
Yeah, sort of. Or just, you know, basically saying that superheroes are completely different than how they portray themselves on, you know, like on TV or in movies or whatever. They're like different people behind the scenes, kind of like celebrities.
Yeah.
Because in that world, they're just like superheroes are in real life, and they're also like in the movies and stuff and TVs, kind of like how they are in our world, but they happen to be real too. So, yeah, good show. I'm not gonna say drone on about it.
Yeah, I need to actually watch that show.
Highly recommend it. It's really good.
Because I only watched maybe the first 3 episodes and I get stopped, even though I shouldn't have.
It some of it kind of takes a while to really get going, but yeah, once the first season gets going, it gets pretty good. Season 2 just kind of, I would say, pretty much starts off firing on all cylinders. It's just like, you know, it doesn't really have much of a slow start. It gets pretty interesting pretty quick, which I think is good.
Very.
But it makes sense considering how the first season ends.
Which makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, boy.
Okay, so end question.
I think hold on, let me see, what did I put? Oh no, I put like the fuck.
Oh, the first console. Are we already okay? So we kind of did cover this, didn't we?
Well, I was meaning like, what was the first console that you ever played and or purchased?
Well, I didn't personally purchase it. I mean, my parents got it for me.
Well, I was meaning like the one when you made enough money, like you went out, made money, and you bought your own goddamn console.
Actually, it might have been the Super Nintendo.
Yeah, mine.
Either the Super Nintendo or the N64.
What is the first one you've ever played?
I think it was. I'm not sure which one it was. It was either the N64 or the Super Nintendo.
What game was it?
I want to say Super Nintendo. I don't know which game specifically. Like, I can only remember the games I did play on there. I remember the games I played on there, but I don't remember like what was the first one. So I can't really say, to be honest.
Makes sense. Or what?
I'm pretty sure. Like, I could say with the N64. With the N64, I really wanted to play Mario 64, Super Mario 64.
Why don't you get it for the Switch?
I don't have a fucking Switch.
Yeah, you do. It's on the wall.
It's what?
It's on the wall.
It's on the wall.
Yeah, you got a Switch. It's on the wall.
Oh, fuck off. That's so stupid.
Now you know how I feel. Anyways. It's like Jesus.
Did you already say yours, or?
I know my first one was the NES. I played. The first console I purchased was the GameCube. But the first game I ever played was the first game I ever played for was Kirby's Adventure. As for the GameCube, funny enough, the Game Boy player. Yeah, which really wasn't a game. It was just a device for my GameCube that says, "Hey, you can play Game Boy Advance games."
It doesn't sound too bad.
It isn't, because it created a podcast called the Disc Only Podcast.
Learn something new every day. Didn't know that.
Well, now you do. It's on Spotify.
Is this like a shameless promotion for that podcast?
That one, not really. I just figured that was funny and kind of ironic.
But yeah, so not really much else to say on this. I mean, this is still a pretty lengthy podcast, regardless.
For the most part, yeah.
Yeah. Although this was one of the, at first I thought this one was going to win the poll, but this is the one that kind of got the least amount of votes. So, but I figured we may as well do it.
Yeah.
So yeah. As always, of course, you can find, my links, and I'm going to put it on screen now. And here are Levy's. So that's where you can find us. And yep, I think, so what's the next podcast going to be? I think it's the...
I don't know. I think...
We had some pretty good ideas for it. Like, I think it was something. I completely forgot.
We'll figure it out later.
Yeah, as we usually do.
Yeah.
Yep, until next time, we will see you all later.